Hey, so I was recently reading in my journal a story about a time when I was in grade 8 and I went to my friend's camp for the first time. And because I didn't grow up on a lake, I had never really taken very many boat rides. And so him and I got on in his boat and we went for a ride and we ran out of gas somehow. And so we're in the middle of the lake in this boat and he hands me this paddle and I'm just kind of looking at it like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? And we start paddling and we're just going around in circles because I did not know how to paddle a boat very well. And so we're just going in circles and circles, and the frustration and the impatience with one another is just like growing and building and getting worse. And we're just like yelling at each other and not getting any closer to where we needed to go or to any land whatsoever. Like we're just literally stranded there in circles. Um, until finally someone came along and they were like, "What's the problem?" And then they gave us some gas and we were able to get to the back to the camp safely. And I often wondered, like, wow, if that person hadn't have come, or maybe my friend would have just had to paddle and me just sit there, because the way we were doing it was not getting us anywhere. And I think that's how we can be so often in seasons in our lives, even with habits, or with sin, even, or just when I wrote about it, I was talking about like unforgiveness, and like we just get stuck in these things where we're not even living with purpose anymore. We're just going around in this mundane circle, like the hamster in the hamster wheel, like just around and around. And sometimes we get stuck and we just feel like, yeah, this hamster wheel, I want out. I want to go get some food and water, but it's almost like we just get stuck in that place. And I think we just need to remind ourselves in that place to surrender that control and to just lay down ourselves and to submit to the Lord. And just like in the boat, like the Lord's that one who needs to come and rescue us at times and give us gas or give us direction and kind of point us towards where we need to go. And we can be praying in those cyclical things, like how we can get out of them. And so I want to read some verses, and the first ones are in Proverbs 3:5-7, and I'm going to read it in the Passion Translation. It says, "Trust in the Lord completely, and do not rely on your own opinions. With all your heart, rely on Him to guide you, and He will lead you in every decision you make. Become intimate with Him in whatever you do, and He will lead you wherever you go. Don't think for a moment that you know it all, for wisdom comes when you adore Him with undivided devotion and avoid everything that's wrong." So just in that is just reminding that when we give our heart and rely on the Lord, that He does lead us in every decision, that when we're in that place of relationship and intimacy with us, that He leads us. And I like in another translation it says, "He will smooth out and straighten the road that lies ahead." So by submitting to His guidance and leadership, He can make that path straight and go where it needs to go. And just the other one that came up was, I had wrote in a blog one time about this weird bird who kept flying into our window at our house, and like it would fly like full on, full speed, like right into the window, and it would do this over and over and over again, and it would just keep pecking away like it wanted to get in our house. And we were just kind of like, "Bird, you don't belong here. Like, this is not the place for you. This is not a place where you would want to be." And we had a cat at the time, and I remember even kind of showing the bird the cat, like, "Go away. This is not a good place for you." And sometimes that's how we respond in seasons, is that we try to go our own ways and we try to do our own thing that we think is good for us, but really we're just hitting up against that glass over and over and over again. And yeah, we need to realize that sometimes it might not be what we want, and that's why the door is closing, because God knows that it's best for us. And that He knows our lives and the paths, and He has everything in His control, and that we can just respond in thankfulness with where we're at and enjoy our current surroundings, and just, like I said in the last video blog, just to abide in that peace and waiting for Him to change what our reality looks like. And I said in the blog that it made me sad because every day I'd see this bird kind of wasting its day, just flying towards a window, and I thought, this bird could waste its whole life pecking where it doesn't belong. And so I think that that's just a word of caution of like, let's try to instead surrender and submit to where we need to be instead. And this was one of the prophetic words that I got that's in my book that I made up one time, and it's called The Path, and it says that it's a message from the Lord. I am teaching you to be unworldly. I am teaching you to chase after me, to seek after me. It is not always easy because there are so many detours and side roads. Hence, this journey requires seeking me, listening to me, and trusting me. At times it is a walk of faith through a forest or a mountain, while other times the path is clearly marked out and straight. Sometimes this path is missing road signs, requiring a real concentration on me as I be your guide. But know that I have been calling you. Know that I set the paths before you like intricate puzzle pieces in my hands. Know that every piece of the road is there for a reason and purpose. Following my road for you will require obedience. It will require your yes. It will require you to block your ears like little children do to the voices of the world that are not mine. The voices of the world are the detours, but my voice and my word will light up the roadmap. I'll be the best GPS you could ever have. Don't fear making a wrong turn. Seek me and I'll guide you back on course. Slow down. Don't focus on the days ahead as much as the surrounding I'm showing you today. Focus then on eternity and on surrendering into my hands. It will be a moment-by-moment adventure, so just hold on and hold my hand.